August 25th, 2019, 5:28 a.m. Playing World of Tanks on Xbox One, Columbus, Ohio, Walnut Street, Gift Street. Reason why I'm adding all that information is what I'm about to talk about. Prior to playing the game, it was in maintenance mode for an hour, so I did a video, uploaded it to YouTube. I watched a YouTuber's video called the Mexican Padilla, which is, that family name specifically has some associations with me in another state, even 12 years ago, but at the same time applied here in Columbus, Ohio, currently to the second, you might as well say. Everyday situation, association. With all that being said, I'm not going to apply that he's absolutely saying what I'm going to make attacking, but somebody eavesdropping on me, somehow, someway, knowing what I watched, basically iterating his characteristic and traits, his verbal characteristic and traits, while playing the game. So somebody on this, you can only hear your own team members. There's the enemy, this is the team that I played with. So somebody in this list, and I should have been able to see it, and as it was happening, I just got frustrated, blanked out, and exited out after I died in the tank there, and didn't watch for who was keying up. Somebody with mic, though. So somebody's name in this list, besides Pro Dark Center, I know that person. It wasn't them. Somebody above those people. I can't tell which other ones. Even if I don't know them. Not that I say I know anybody on this. It's the whole point. I don't know anybody on this game. Literally, for the most part. Even if they play a lot and I've played with them, I'm not recognizing it. There's only very, very, very few people, and I won't explain that. But anyways, whoever was verbalating up was also making frustrations. How would you like to be looking into something and somebody bother you that they know what you've been looking at? That's just one example of not just frustration, but trying to, I would say, like, psychologically attack someone. Psychologically harass, at the least. Cause them discomfort, if not try to create agitation to set them off. Trigger stuff. But besides that, on top of that, with iteration of the same type of tone of, it's not even just tone of voice, but tone characteristics of voice of the Mexican Padilla, which is an auditor. And I just watched his stuff on the YouTube. And I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to pull that video up. It has to do with police work, and they don't like it, even though he didn't utilize the term blue gang bitch. And I learned that, and as soon as I learned that 4, 5, 6 months ago, things have changed massively. So whoever is also messing with me, as I've always said, and I know for a fact, has access to law enforcement. And that's a big disgrace to them. But the truth behind it, though, let's say there's good law enforcement that you wouldn't want to represent negative towards. But you got the bad ones. And that's the ones you're talking about, even though it applies as a whole. And they're reacting out with all whatever they can because it's derogatory to them. But it's messed up. So I'm going to go through this list and find out, and who knows, see whose account is and isn't. Then if they created a flop account just to do the attack with, they'll have a low score more than likely in their account. But doesn't necessarily mean it worked that way. They may be having the balls to straight out, no different than walking out in the middle of a parking lot and trying to start a fight. Even if it isn't just verbalated, hey, you want to fight, but trying to utilize agitation, tactics, and antics to create a triggering point, which I'm being dubbed as schizophrenic when I've had psychologists look at it and understand some, because they don't have factual, not even just factual proof, but solid evidence to it. But by understanding what I'm saying, if is true, without creating any type of concern that it's not, that, yeah, what they're doing there is illegal. On top, creating a psychological, is becoming emotional first, the emotional, like harassment, assault, that's turning psychological, especially if they're trying to break me down to the point of breaking down. That'd be a psychological attack to break somebody down to a certain point. It has a lot of things behind it, so I can't explain everything to make it very clear, but for the clear part for myself, and even on professional witness and other states' people, where I've been out of state and they said, no, this is abnormal shit. No, I'm saying these people are attacking me. They have no reason. They've been doing it, not even just years, decades. There's a whole story behind that. Until I get healthy again, I won't be able to explain it properly to make it sound good, to be all that helpful. But for right now, I'll be right back. I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna go to the Mexican Padilla's video, I think is the way you say his name, and then the verbalization out of his voice. I may just barely try to show his name of his profile, if I even do that. But the tone of his voice and the mimicking of the tone of his voice in the game, while also they was utilizing a tactic of like, you're worthless. But anyways, more than likely another eavesdropping, law enforcement, corrupted individual, which hasn't been caught, from Columbus, Ohio, assaulting. And what you gonna do about it, bitch? Anyways, and that's what they've been doing, literally, physically, verbally saying it. I'm gonna press pause on this and go get this information. I realize after thinking about how I'm going to get to it, I do have another phone, and it's not that I won't take the time. I'll put a clip in later of this dude's voice, because it utilizes the characteristics, the strength of his voice, and how it interacts with, you just have to interact with it. And them trying to utilize it kind of like as a weapon, a psychological weapon, a tooling, with the strength of his voice, the way he articulates his stuff. Anyways, I did, though, however, sit down and take the minute and a half to find a new game profiler. And the bestest off, which would have to be for myself, it may not have been the person, I'll have to check it out, is this Cipher and Tag. Now, with Xbox, you get the gold points, and this is the way I'm going to base my stuff off of. 570, that's a brand new profile. Everybody else is in the thousands. Not saying it wasn't one of them, because even in the thousands, low thousands, it could still, I mean, that's a day and a half, 2 days of gameplay, per se, for a good player, something like that. And even some of them, like that guy there, I've seen him before, and he only has 3,000. He's been playing, I know, at least a year, so there you go. I mean, some of these guys play multitudes of games and gain those points, but which one was it? While I also say the neighbors, and not just say, there's proof, the neighbors stalking to New York City and altering the organization behind what's going on. I wouldn't believe, one of these other people with a good game profile would want to ruin their stuff. Dang it, sorry about that. Probably not that guy. Probably not. And probabilities can be taken away because I'm uncertain 100%. But it makes sense to look at profiles and see who has a brand new profile by guesstimation. 570 is brand new. Press pause on this one more time to go look at something. As I'm looking for this profile, I wanted to see what games this guy plays, because I don't play many games. Most of the gameplay I've been playing is World of Tanks. Guess what? It's a new profile, and that's the only game this person's played. He's also had, or she has had, only a day's worth of screenshots captured, I do believe. So it's a day-old account. Wasn't at the spur of the moment, so this is a targeted act. If it is this person. Like I said, I can't be 100% sure, but more than likely it's somebody that doesn't care to lose, if something happened, to lose their gameplay. But definitely taking it off that aspect and that point of view of range, that it still could be any and the above. 1,000,000,000%. My first guesstimation would be somebody targeting, creating like you would to harass somebody, multiple profiles, multiple identities, and that's one way that you would do it. Don't know how to see if they had microphone or not, but maybe I can get in to find out which ones had microphones, because some players don't even have microphones. But anyhow, that's that. I just want to produce within the list of these people somebody not only knowingly what I feel looked at and is trying to associate, mimic what I just seen on YouTube less than 15 minutes prior. So it also means it's locally targeted, more than likely, at least eavesdropped on, but somebody that knows, and basically doing surveillance, organized intelligence, while trying to make it pertainable to law enforcement acts. Really, let's go ahead and see what law enforcement has to say about this. Press and stop on this video.